Find your path with the knowledge of others and become an illuminator for those who struggle. Guide their way just by being true and being in alignment, because it comes naturally to you. On self-discovery wisdom, we share to find inspiration with lessons for millions. We hope you listen.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Building Your Business right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my wonderful guest is Karin.
Knechts.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try that one. I don't want to be insulting. So what we're going to be talking about today is Dare to Ignite Your Dreams, which is her latest book, a collection of immigrant voices rendering success and legacy. And, you know, when we look at legacy, everybody would like to leave one. We want to make a difference. And she's making a difference one leader at a time. She empowers leaders to lead with authenticity, curiosity, and confidence. She partners with leaders and organizations that want to leverage cultural differences and cultivate the meaningful relationship between that leads to success. And in her book, Dare to Ignite Your Dream, she shares stories and experience that she had in different countries and how she overcame challenges. She's an energy leadership coach who helps others shift their perspective so they can stop reacting and start responding, focusing on opportunities and win-win outcomes. She's a global citizen who brings a unique perspective to leadership, blending German efficiency, British finesse, and American can-do mindset. With more than 20 years of experience of life journey spanning 3 countries, she has become a trusted partner in leaders seeking clarity, growth, and a meaningful impact. And with her guided purpose of making a difference one leader at a time, she's fueled by the superpower of positivity. She empowers leaders to embrace that authenticity and curiosity. And I think that kind of where it starts, isn't it? You know, you can't be a leader without curiosity. You can't be a leader without being able to see possibilities. You know, there is no box. There is no containment. It's that how far can we dream? And then how do we reverse that dream back into a reality? But a leader needs to know how to recognize the dream and the dreamers so they can actually implement the dream into fruition. Welcome to the show, Karin.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Sarah.
So, dreamers. I think at the present moment, we might have a number of people that going, no, it's nightmare, not dreams. And obviously, current situation in the world is actually threatening people in the sense of, dare I dream? You know, because things are changing, you know, politically so much all the time. People just don't know, you know, it's trepidatious for tomorrow. So how do we keep that dream alive? How do we ignite it in times of trouble?
Yeah, and you know, it's a good point. We are living in a really complex and uncertain time, and anybody I talk to, it's really everybody is overworked. Everybody is overwhelmed with what's happening at work, at home, in the world, in the country. And I think the one thing I always say to people, like, really focus on the zone of influence. What is in your zone of influence and control? I can't control what world leaders are doing, but I can control my little bubble. And it really is important to focus on that, because otherwise we just get nuts.
And you know, you might have an ultimate dream that you want to do that, but maybe the current atmosphere requires that you do this, because that will
Yeah.
eventually, you know, allow that dream to come to fruition. But maybe you have to approach it in a different way. If we're not flexible and unwilling to pivot, we're just not going to last, are we?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really a good environment here to really look at opportunities.
Yes,
I
yes.
have a couple of people who we hear the layoffs,
Mm,
And some of your listeners might be in that situation that they've been currently laid off. And it's hard. I've been there. I've been
mm-hmm.
laid off twice in my whole life. And you feel like a victim. You're
Yes.
angry,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay. It's just not okay to stay there. And like
Exactly.
really think about, okay, in 2023, I got laid off. And at the same time, I got my coaching certification.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I saw it as an opportunity, and here I am having my own company.
Yeah.
So it's really important to look at what's happening to us and how are we reacting. Don't react.
Mm-hmm.
Step back.
Mm-hmm.
Take a minute. Breathe. Analyze the situation, and then create a vision. What is your vision? And yes, we used to be like our 5 or 10 year vision. And nowadays, like, hey, where do you want to see yourself at the end of the year? Is already
Yes. Yes.
a lot.
And that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
We can't do the 5 year anymore because it's not just up to us. And if we can just, just this year, right? If you take
Yeah.
care of this year, then next year's seeded well, right? So stop with the projecting too far down the road because you'll only be disappointed. I always say
Yeah.
we always get a nudge, nudge, and a wink, wink. And if we don't pay attention, we get the cosmic 2x4, right? And that nudge, nudge, wink, wink is that this chapter is coming to an end. Right, start paying attention to what windows are open, what doors are, where the doors are. And if you do get a door slammed in your face, yeah, you know what? Anything needs a bit of grieving. Everything needs a bit of woe me for a moment, right? Give yourself a good hug and go and spoil yourself something. And then look at it. Okay, so this is an opportunity for me to go and do that something I really wanted to do. And I know you'll always get that voice say, yes, but. And we have
Mm.
to meet with that yes, but and go, yeah, yeah, what? What? I'm capable. All I have to do is channel my capabilities and my experience in a new direction.
Yeah, and I think nowadays it's a yes and. Let's
Yes,
let's
yes,
let's learn from improv. It's a
yes,
yes and. It's not a neither or, it's an
right.
and.
Yes. So, how do we look at that end?
Yeah.
What do we
Yeah,
do with
and
that
it
end?
yeah, exactly. And and if you feel like you're stuck and you don't know what to do, get a friend, get a mentor,
Mhm,
get a coach who
mhm,
helps you think about through the situation. Where are you? And I always say, like, when I work with my clients who have lost a job, I was like, this is a great opportunity. Write your new job description.
mhm.
What does your next chapter look like? And I believe in manifestation
Yes.
and visualization. Like
Mhm.
you visualize it, you can manifest it, you rewire your brain the way that you will get it in the end.
It's re-energizing your energy. And,
Mhm.
whenever you meet anybody, I say that they have I'm going to make sure I have the percentage right here, the body language. 55% of your body action is how you hold yourself, your confidence in yourself, and how you represent that. 38% is your tone of voice. How are you setting the stage for people to receive you? Are you at ease, nervous, confident with the situation? And 7% are the actual words that come out of you. And if people haven't bought that other percentage, it doesn't matter if you have a PhD or a Nobel Peace Prize. It's like if they haven't got you, they haven't got you. And it's like, why do we always feel so insecure about presenting ourselves in a new situation when we know that our life experience, our last job experience, our capabilities are all there? Why can't we walk with confidence in that and in the good vibrations of this is what I want to do now?
Exactly. And we've all had our challenges, experiences. Gosh, for my whole journey from Germany to the
Hmm.
UK to the States, like what you said, like
Hmm.
every time there's an ending, there's also a beginning.
Yes, yes,
And it's scary, absolutely, but it's exciting too.
yeah.
And it's really all about when you say the 7% words, it's like often when I coach my people, or even like when I have with my friends, the word hope doesn't exist. We
Mm,
will do.
yeah,
We're not hoping to, we will do. Like
yeah.
just focusing on positive language.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
makes a huge difference. Don't say not. It was like, say what you're going to do, what you're
Mm.
able to do. And absolutely, you're so right. It's all about, we don't have confidence in ourselves. We all have imposter syndrome, especially
Yes.
women. I don't know, women always seem to have more imposter syndrome than men.
Time to get
And
over it.
exactly. Yeah, the German in me just says, get over it,
Yeah,
move
yeah.
on. But it's really like realizing it's that voice is trying to protect us.
Yes. Yeah.
And really, 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 real, it's kind of, yes, you're here. I appreciate it. But I got it. I had
Mm.
so many experiences. I learned from the experiences. I got it. I don't need you
Yeah.
anymore.
We need a Miss or Mrs. Reassurance to step in, not
Yes,
Mrs. Doubt.
exactly. Exactly. And that's where when a coach really comes
Yes.
in and it was like, as a coach, I'm your cheerleader. And it's like, okay, let's talk about where does that come from?
Hmm.
And a lot of times I realize it comes from childhood. It's
Yes.
just one sentence a parent said, or a friend or your sibling, and it carries
I
throughout the
know.
line.
Isn't it awful that we allow, with some flippant statement to burden us for the rest of our life? And it's like, come on, folks,
Yeah.
but I think where we need the objective, like a coach, is to pick up, what I'm hearing is, and you're repeating this because we don't realize we're in a pattern. We're in a sense
Yeah.
of programming, and we don't we're repeating the same thing all the time, expecting different results. And you need somebody from the outside to say, hey, hang on, are you aware? Because most of the time we're not aware.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And it's just like I also asked the question, I think it's very powerful. What does it cost you
Mm,
to be in that state? Because a lot of times it costs you your relationships, your happiness, success,
mm.
and missed opportunities.
Very often could coffee cost you your job. Everybody knows you're capable, but maybe your
Yeah,
own self-sabotage not only sabotages you, but sabotages the job that you're doing. Right.
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
we owe it not a we owe it to ourselves, but we've got to understand in supporting ourselves, we're actually supporting everybody that's around us, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing we women have. Like we are, so I'm as an energy coach, there are 7 levels of energy. And energy 1 and 2 we addressed early on. It's
Mm,
being the victim, being
mm,
angry. Something happens to us, and we have a lot of catabolic energy. And then there's this energy level 3. It is what it is. Just get
mm.
it done.
Yeah.
And then we women have a lot of times that energy level 4, we serve others.
Mm.
We are there for others. We are helping them. We are supporting them. And a
Mhm.
lot of times I see it right now. Women having kids, they're supporting their parents, they are supporting their spouse. There is a lot going on,
Yeah.
and we forget ourselves.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I would say case in point, my daughter right now with 3 babies, 5 months, just about to turn 5 and 3. And yesterday she took her husband out for a birthday lunch and left us with all three, my other daughter and myself. And there's the baby screaming and the other one hitting this one, and it just like, and it's like I just want to be able to read a book, and down the road when the kids are at school, I'm thinking of doing this as a career, and we don't realize how women, when they choose to have families, it's 24/7. It's 24/7. It isn't that they clock out at a certain time and go home and have a life. This is 24/7 for several years until you can take a breath. And the thought of a career or, doing something down the road is very often, so far away. And then when they do decide, all the credentials they had before, or any part-time jobs they've had along the way, now they really want to get their teeth into something. But as you said, imposter syndrome, well, I haven't been in the workforce for this length of time. Or am I really qualified? But look at what being a mother's qualification is. Head cook and bottle washer, right? Chauffeur, nurse, doctor, counselor, therapist, play thing, sex goddess, you name it, you're everything. You are more than qualified.
Absolutely. And I always say, like, heads up, like, and it was with International Women's Day this month. And I'm like, we are power women. We are
Yes.
super women. And
Hmm.
especially any woman who has children and
Yeah.
leads a family. Yeah, you have fantastic organizational
Yes,
skills.
you have to.
You can build relationships. You are empathetic, compassionate. You're flexible. You're agile. That's what organizations need nowadays.
Exactly. Exactly. And also there's a certain passion and also the ability to see um, the cracks, what really needs to be addressed and what's just having a tantrum, can move on, and it's like, I think people, underestimate women and just a housewife or just a mother. And we're not just anything. We're super women who are wearing many, many hats, right?
Yeah.
And so when we do decide to, choose a career or redirect into a career or go back to a career, you know, get out of our way because we're coming.
Yeah. And that's another word I tell people to scrap it out of your vocabulary. Just.
Yes, yes, yes,
We
yeah.
are mothers, we are
Hmm.
women, we are caregivers, we are professionals. So it's like,
We are
so yeah, and
awesome.
yes, yes, and
Yeah,
we,
yes.
we all wear so many hats, and
Hmm.
and and that goes for our male audience as well. There's nobody out there who just has one hat on, and I think it's juggling the different responsibilities, the different hats, but with a mindset, I can do it.
Hmm.
And if you don't try it, you will never know if you can do it. That's the other thing, being
Yeah,
brave enough, being
yeah,
courageous,
yes.
step outside, or if you feel overwhelmed at work. And I see more and more women, especially in the HR community
Mm.
I'm heavily involved with, they just burn out. They
Yeah.
like have to take care of everybody and they are the mothers of the company,
Mm.
and they just like, I'm done. I can't anymore. And that's okay. Then do what I did. Try it out. Can you have your own business?
Hmm.
And if it's not working, it's fine. Go back.
Or take other people that are also at the end of that limit, but make sure you are diverse in your skills and come together under one umbrella. Because I would say, if you can do it until you realize that's not my forte, that's when you delegate. That's when you give
Mhm.
it to somebody else it's their forte, it's their strength. You don't have to be all the strengths, but you can form a wonderful team and collaboration where each one may have their own business, but you are intertwining with each other because you know of
Yeah.
each other's strengths.
Yeah, and that's so important. Like for any leader or business owners, like you need to understand what are your strengths,
Hmm.
what energizes you, what are your passions, and what drains your energy and
Yeah.
what you're not good at. And these
Yes.
are the things you outsource, you delegate because somebody else has that as a strength and will be
Right.
happily doing it for you.
Even all these automated or AI programs that can do a lot for you, still the automation of them and managing it's still not, you may not be techie, right? But we've got people that you've got virtual assistants, you've got virtual this. This is their strength. My strength is I can do this, that, etc. That's not my strength. Good. I can save time because I can give you that, right? While I
Yeah.
focus on what I can do well, and then maybe you can turn around and be of assistance to them with your skill. And I think that's where women are good at, is falling on each other where we need to. And it's not about one over the other, it's about how we build that beautiful chorus.
Yeah, and I think that goes into that. a level 5, like
Mm.
we all win, we work together, we see
Yes,
opportunities, and
yes.
level 6 is synergy. Like build your tribe, build your
Mm.
group, build your partnerships. You do not have to be on any journey by yourself.
No,
No.
and you're not meant to be. You're not designed to be, right?
Exactly.
You're meant to be your own instrument. And the whole thing about knowing our own instrument is knowing how to play it and whom to play it for and whom to play it with. Joining an orchestra that is the vibe tribe, right? That you can harmoniously play together, but sometimes you're the soloist, somebody else is the soloist, right? But it's know
Exactly.
your own instrument and what you're bringing to the table and have confidence in who you are, but also the confidence to say, you know what? I don't know about this one. I've never come across it, and as who can help me here? Because you don't know something, right? A novelty in many ways.
And and that a lot of people see that as a weakness. I see it as a strength. Being able to say, hey, can you help me? Can we brainstorm together? Can we collaborate? And really seeing that as an opportunity to two minds have
Mm,
far more ideas and get things done. There's a saying, if you want to go fast, go by
mm.
yourself. If you want to go far, you go with somebody.
And 100% agree with that. And it's not about comparing or competing. It's about collaborating, right?
Yeah.
And it's about cohesiveness because, the pendulum swings. We don't want it to swim extremes, but it's just like the blood flow and the oxygen and the energy is not a straight line. Everything is beautiful twist and rhythm and rhyme, and we want our energy to be that as well. And I think, the fact that you're using the 7 levels of energy in business is that people, I think, are finally waking up to knowing they're energetic beings. And the energy we put out is the energy we're going to receive,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And it's so true. Like my thoughts create my feelings, and
Hmm.
my thoughts and feelings create how I react, and
Hmm.
that creates a result in how other people react to me.
It's really quite logical.
Yeah. Yeah.
There isn't absolutely anything in this world that doesn't have an energy signature, doesn't have a frequency. I don't know if you've seen these, I'm fascinated by them, where they have this instrument that they plug onto plants and they have a way of actually hearing the plant's frequency and the music that it's playing.
Oh
And
yeah, I heard about
it
that.
is absolutely, I've seen them do it to quite a number of them, and all the different tones and everything. It's like a symphony. We are projecting a tone, we're projecting a frequency and a vibration. The more positive we are in that vibration, the more other people are going to want to dance in it, right?
Yeah, and it's really interesting. Like my superpower is positivity. And
Mm,
I was speaking last Saturday. And one of the audience members were like, "Are you always this positive and
mm.
optimistic?" And I was like, "Yes, life is too short. There are too many dramas. I want to be positive. I want to enjoy life."
And although we've put this under the genre building your businesses for people
Yeah,
who are looking in that, but it could have gone on to choose positive living. It
yeah,
could have gone on sisterhood of common sense love. It could have gone their story matters. And that's the whole thing is, we hone it in on one. But that's the thing is that we've been taught, I think, linear, straight line, box, don't rock the boat. We are now realizing that all of that was for us to conform, and it's a form of control. And we're, breaking that box apart and saying, no box, we will have a boundary, but we won't have borders, right? And we will expand where it feels comfortably and we feel that we're having the best impact, but we won't take the bad vibrations. But the only control you have is almost surrendering to control. But good
yeah.
vibration control, not society's control.
Yeah, and embracing it. And you mentioned it early on too, like as a business owner, like you have that idea, you
Mhm.
go with it, and then it's okay to pivot. You're not making any mistakes, you're learning.
And if you don't pivot, you'll break. I kind of, the analogy of the willow tree. As we grow older, we
Mhm,
root more, our tree trunk strengthens, and we can branch out more. We can grow more branches because we're solid, right? But
mhm,
we want a tree that is flexible in the wind because it's always going to get turbulent up there, not that will break. And if we're rigid in our thinking, we're going to break. I'm sorry. You will break.
mhm,
If you're flexible and go with the flow, you'll know how far you want to take that flow and where to hone it in. But it's understanding we're rhythmic creatures. That's what energy is.
mhm,
And go
mhm.
with the flow.
Exactly. And seeing it as a journey, I think that's a really important thing too. And if I look at my stages in my journey, like every stage I learned something
Mhm,
from the challenges. Every stage, I'm like, when I came to London, I didn't know anybody. And I made new friends and yet made new contacts
mhm.
and really again, like what you also said earlier on, like be curious,
Yes.
like learn about different cultures. It's so important to really understand the world or trying to understand. You don't have to fully understand. I don't understand a lot of things, but just coming in with that curiosity. Tell me,
Openness and
what is
openness.
that?
Mm,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Don't come in dictatorial,
yeah,
right? It's yes, you're bringing your flavor, your essence, and adding it to the smoker's board, right? Adding it to the buffet. But don't start dictating that the buffet has to change to your flavor. The whole beauty of it
exactly.
is the choice of the buffet where everybody can partake according to what their own taste buds are.
Yeah, and if you're building your business and you're going from perhaps solopreneur and you have a
Mm-hmm.
couple of people and you become now, you're not the founder anymore, you're
Mm-hmm.
actually the CEO and you have leaders. It's a great opportunity to build your diverse
Yeah.
team. Like get the different strengths. And if you don't know your strengths, there are plenty of tools out there. I personally like Clifton Strengths
Mm-hmm.
because it gives you a top five and do that with other people. Or you don't know them, ask your friends. They will
Yeah.
tell you what your strengths are.
Yes. Yes. And, I'm very much about know what your personality type is alike, the true colors. Um, and it's something I've taught for a number of years. And it's always become that aha moment to go, now I understand how people perceive me. Now I understand how I perceive others. I'm seeing it from this personality trait. They're
Yeah.
speaking from that personality trait. And I think the more and more we're willing to immerse ourselves and learn different styles and techniques of communication, the more and more we're open to communicate and be flexible in that communication
Yeah.
of how we partake.
Yeah, and communication is the key. Like
Mm.
80% of any problem out there is poor communication.
Yes, yes.
Like if there's
Coming from a
one
defense, right? Attack or defense. Yeah.
if there's one power skill, and I don't say soft skills or whatever, for me these are power skills because they really build your strengths. And when you tap into your strengths, and communication is one of them, like if you can do anything, like as a business owner, as a leader, as an individual, like being able to communicate with others in a way that you're telling a story, you including them,
Hmm.
you looking at who is my audience and tailor your messages. Like if you're a business owner, your pitch will be
Yeah.
different based on the audience.
Hmm.
Your presentation skills, work on it.
Yes.
And to your point, 55%
Yeah.
of your communication is your body language.
Yes.
Walk into the room like you know what you're doing.
Without being cocky, confident, not cocky, the fine
Exactly.
line, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I participated in a speaking competition 2 weeks ago, and somebody said you walked in like like the stage belongs to you.
Right.
And
Yes.
it's like, yeah, because I walked in with okay, I was a little nervous early on, and then I was like, let's just have fun.
Hmm.
I know what I'm doing. Let's just have fun. And
And the nerves of the my mother was a stage actress, and she said, if you don't have nerves, you've got complacent, right? The
yeah,
nerves are just your fine tuning, getting yourself ready for delivery.
yeah, yeah. And it shows that you care about what you're
Yes,
doing.
yes,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then it's also like the 38% is how you say something. Be
Mm,
interesting for
hmm,
people to listen to you.
mm,
Or like, and that's the other thing. Another power skill, and that's part of communication, is listening
yeah.
skills.
Hmm, hmm.
We never learn it. It's really interesting. We learn to speak, we
Yes.
learn to write, we learn nobody teaches us
No,
how to actively listen.
right. And we've actually got kind of a young generation right now that what I call headliners and emojis and don't know how to listen to depth. And we've also become such a this whole societal, well, aren't you there yet? Why aren't you there? You're a failure. You're this, you're that. Come on, why aren't you there? Boom, boom, boom. And it's like, I used to be the hare. I had a vision. I went for it, right? And, oh, let's do it, ba 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 ba, without the proper foundation. And that's
Mhm,
why they all collapse. I'm now the tortoise. I take my time to get to meet the people and feel the arenas, feel the atmosphere. And not every
mhm.
leaf I'm going to turn over, but you get to read things as you're taking your time. And I think that's one that we can throw in the communication and listening and learning is also taking time, because that's respect. If you give people time to listen to them, I think that is such a foundational builder.
Oh yeah, and it's a foundation to build any strong
Yes.
relationships. It's
Yeah.
it's professional, personal. Like when you actually look at it, it's really fascinating. I do a lot of networking, and people at the end was like, "Oh, this was so great to meet you." Yeah, I just let you talk, and I
Mm,
listened, and
mm,
people love that.
mm. Well, how do you know how to serve them if you don't hear what it is? Now, I like a cross conversation. There's a few wonderful networks. We're going to breakout rooms and we're kind of
Mhm,
thrown a question and everybody talks about it and then talking with one another. And it's, a lot of people think it's either grandstanding or just listening and not participating. It's, what I have found that people have kind of lost the knack of is that back and forth conversation.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, being curious,
Mm.
learning about the other person, but listening with intent to support the other person.
And not, yes, to support and to serve, just not look at them as a ka-ching.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nobody wants
exactly. And
people
and
to as
I
a
always
dollar
say with
sign.
with yeah, like with networking is like your goal of networking is to get to know people, not to sell your products or
Right.
services.
It's building relationships.
Yes. Yes. Now, if
Exactly.
you're in Germany, it's different, but here in the US, it's all about building
I
relationships
think it should be
first.
about building relationships no matter
Yeah.
where you go, because, when people build those relationships, and there's all different levels of relationships, right? There's people that are going to be friends for life, and there's people that you've just really enjoyed this chapter, right? You can talk highly of them. Whether you do business with them or not, you really like who they are, so you're more likely to refer them to others in trust, right? Or even just simply want to have a cup of coffee or a lunch with them because you enjoy the company and there's no business involved here, right? And I think that's we've been pushed so much, and I think especially since the early 90s, push, 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 sales, 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 sales. And I've interviewed people that are in sales and it's how to close it, how to do this, how to do that. And I find it so very aggressive and not
Mhm.
invitational. And I think
Mhm.
you want to be inspirational for invitational, right? Rather than this obligation to buy just to get rid of you.
Mhm. Yeah, and we've all been like I've been in the seat of my now customers, and I don't want anybody to sell. I
No.
want somebody who partners with me to help me fix my pain points.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing. And it goes back to what you said earlier on, like go slow. Like
Yeah.
especially when you're building a new team, when you're building your business, it's all about 60%, 70% of your time at the beginning will be building relationships
Mm-hmm.
before
Mm.
you even sell anything.
And there's another word that we don't look at in any form of business or life we've taken for granted is the word loyalty, right?
Mhm.
And when you have built a good relationship and anything, can you feel you can trust that person? You're going to be loyal to that person
Yeah,
because you've
yeah,
spent that time to invest in getting to know each other.
yeah. And that's so important because I see often people in the business, and I'm guilty myself. I was like, oh, new customers, new connections, like,
Mm.
stop, Karen.
Yeah.
Focus on the people who you already know. And
Yeah.
I have so many repeat
Mm-hmm.
customers because I keep that relationship
Yes.
in active,
Mm.
and it's so much easier.
Yeah. It is, and you know that when people do refer you, is they're on the same frequency or within the same, vibe arena, because so many people are chasing, and of course there's so many people now have automation, and they've set up a program for you to go and do online, but there's no interaction. And it's like all very well, I think build the relationship if you've got something they could do automation down the road, but not up front. And people are going to buy you before they buy from you. And if you're not putting yourself out there with the right intent, why should they buy from you?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, so stop sending out these cold call emails or
Oh,
whatever. It's like it really gets under my
chills.
skin. Yeah. I was like, and I don't do this. It's just like all my customers are either people I used to work with or referrals.
Right.
And focus on that. It's like
Yes.
really build your brand. First of all, figure out who do I want to be?
Mm,
What's my brand? And that goes back to start slow, understand
mhm,
what do you bring to the table? Who are you? What are your values, your strengths?
mhm.
What differentiates you from the sea of fish out there? And really take some time to figure that out. And then what exactly do you help your customers with? So
Yes.
it's all about perhaps just have one product at the
Mm,
beginning.
mhm,
Like I started with coaching.
mhm.
And then because I have 20 years experience in learning and development, then I offered my leadership program. And then I did some consulting. So you can build on it, but focus on one thing or
Well, you're
two.
building on, what's needed because you focused on the one thing. From the one thing, okay, now this is the next stage. This is what they need in the evolution of my
Yes.
training, right? And it's
Yes.
not like all up front and confusing people. Is they go through the one thing, now I'm ready to graduate to the next platform. And I think it's
Exactly.
also, right to your point, right to the beginning, know your own energy that you're putting out there.
Mhm.
What's your
Mhm.
seven energies? Because if you're coming out static while you're trying to work everything out, then people are just going to be like this. So get
Yeah,
your
and
own
that
energies in order.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And really, which energy level are you coming from? As a business
Yes.
owner and as a leader, it needs to be that win-win, the
Mm,
synergy, the collaboration, because people will feel it.
yeah.
If you come in genuinely, I want to support you, I can help you with this, then they feel that.
And yes, it's not words. And I talk about this all the time. This is my entire platform. Feel the wisdom to understand the knowledge.
Mhm.
When we feel it, it just sits with us. It just is. I'm okay
Mhm.
with it. No, it feels right. Don't need to justify, verify, or anything. It just is. Then you actually understand what knowledge is relevant in that moment. A lot of
Yeah.
people are chasing knowledge without the wisdom to know what to do with it. So get to know how you feel about things, identify that feeling. What is that energy feeling there? So you can actually understand what you need to do with it.
Yeah. And some people react, especially the Germans, are like, oh, feelings, we don't do
I
feelings.
know.
We don't. But you make decisions based on your emotions.
Hmm.
So you need to be in tune with your emotions. I always say when you make, and I have that holistic decision making, I often work with my clients. It's like, think about, yes, your head, the data, what
Yes.
information do you have? But then also, how do you feel about that? And then what's your gut feeling?
Yeah,
We still do it. We are not listening to it, but tap into it because often that will lead you into the right direction. And
exactly.
if you're not sure, go back to your head and double check what you were saying.
And I think every time I've made a decision just with the head or emotion head and
Mhm.
not heart and soul emotion, I've always made the wrong choice,
Yeah.
right? Then the old
Yeah.
wackaroo comes out.
Yeah, and yes, and I'm like even like when I have clients and in business, it was like, oh, as a business owner, you need to build your team. I mean, like you need to recruit people. I was like, oh, this person looks great. They interviewed really good.
Mm.
There's this nagging feeling.
Yes, yes,
It's like dig in there. What's going on? Because
right.
it's there for a purpose.
The body action has spoken to you, the tone has spoken to you, right? All the
Yeah.
words were right, but there's something misconnect there. Do not dismiss it because then you'll hire the person and then down the road you'll have to fire the person and go, why did I not listen?
Yes, and that's another really good example of go slow
Hmm.
to go far. Like, if
Yes.
you're not sure, get somebody else to interview them. Have another
Hmm.
conversation until you really, yes, this is that person. Because then they will stay. If you're like, I always say hiring is like dating. You're not
Hmm.
going to go into full blown relationship or marry the person after the second dates. Yes, there are people who do that, but we should.
How many successes?
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm like, and if you slow at the beginning and then you get married, it's more successful in the long end. Like the divorce rate nowadays
Yes,
is
I
crazy. I
know.
was like, but it's with corporations too. People are not engaged anymore.
They feel chewed up and spat out.
Yes.
And if the
Do
and if the
you
corporations treated them with more respect and their loyalty, then they would stay and be proud to be a part of it.
exactly. Yeah. And
Mm.
that's the really the important thing too. Like take care of the people. People don't lose. Yes, they might leave you for money, but the underlying
Yes.
reason why they leave a business is I don't feel valued and I
Yes,
don't feel that my job is meaningful.
exactly. Exactly. Every time. I've interviewed so many people through the years because I've been doing this nearly 14 years. And the amount of people that have come from the corporate world, been at the top and saying, I was spent. I felt spat out, even if I was a CEO. What was I working for? The house, the car, the image, but I had no time for life, no time for family, no time for myself. Got sick, lost everything, all to kind of keep this illusion alive. And none of it felt meaningful. It felt expected.
Yeah, yeah. And then going back to the question, what did that cost you? And when you
Everything.
said earlier on leaving a legacy,
Yes.
like if you're older, and there is some research out
Hmm.
there and studies where they interviewed elderly people who were about to die, and it was like, what is one regret you
Mm.
have in life? And the one regret is not spending more time with the people I love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody is going to say, oh, I regret that I didn't work more.
Yes. I wish I had more hours of the office. Yes.
Exactly. So I really encourage anybody like thinking about what legacy do you want to
Yes.
leave?
How do you want to be remembered? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, not just in your family, amongst your friends, amongst your colleagues. Have you left them a part of you that still
Mhm.
lives on? Or do they so
Yeah.
happy to get rid of you that who? You
Yeah, and
know?
it's touching. I sometimes get LinkedIn messages from people who used to go through my leadership programs in
Mhm.
other companies. And like, I still think of you. And
Yeah.
it's like, that's the legacy I left.
Yes. And that's, that's really great when, like today, my next show is somebody for the third time I'm interviewing, and I've been interviewing her since 2016. So that's 10 years, right? And it's another chapter in her life. And it's wonderful when people come back. It's that familiarity, it's that celebration of where they are and what they're doing now. And it's just adding more depth, which, I think I just feel that we're in a very shallow world, and that shallow world is what's causing the disruption and the disease. And the more willing that we are to go deep and root and feel the roots and nurture those roots, the more substance we will grow, and
Yeah,
more into true abundance, but enrichment of our heart, our soul, our spirit, our purpose. And when we're enriching, we're going to enrich those around us and everybody that we have to do with it. Yeah, money's money, but that kind of enrichment is really the real true commerce.
absolutely. And you just said the right word here, purpose.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Understand your purpose. And in my book, there's actually one little exercise I do helping you to write your purpose statement. It's
Mm.
just like, it's a simple way of why do I exist?
And how many people don't really know their purpose? They have the expected purpose, or I've been on this path, that's my purpose. But when you actually break it down and say to them, what really is your purpose? I bet it's come as quite a surprise for quite a number of people.
Yeah. And then write it down. I have it next to me. I see it every day
Yeah.
when I walk into my office. I see my purpose. This is making a difference, one
Yes.
lead at a time.
Yes.
And it can be sometimes small things. It's sending an email saying thank you to somebody. It can be something big where I'm helping a customer build a program,
Yeah.
but really write it down, have it visually in front of you. It's powerful.
Very powerful. And a reminder and a supporter. Everything is there. One of the things, the word ignite. I have another drama, ignite your heart and soul. And I think the daring to ignite your dreams. So many people have dreams, but the ignition, they're actually switching them on, letting them have a life, letting that currency run through them and bringing them to life by igniting them. There's so many people that have those dreams that just don't do it because they don't believe they're worthy, they don't believe they can, or everybody's told them, who do you think you are? And when we hear other people's stories of how they have, what they faced, why they did it, that meaningful purpose, and how that broke through and became the ignition, right? That, is that inspiration that begets that invitation. But it's through those stories that very often ignite our passion, our how, our purpose, and our go.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a really good point. It was like it's just what you also do by doing this. I often get messages, you really inspiring me
Hmm.
to do this or that. And I'm a mentor. I do a lot of mentoring, not just coaching. And I love to mentor people because, and to be honest, I wouldn't be where I am
Hmm.
now without certain mentors in my life.
Exactly. Exactly.
And a mentor and a coach can help you ignite, can help you really understand what is one thing. And it's just one little spark
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
can really make a huge difference.
And my mottos for my shows is listen, learn, and apply. And that just goes for everything in life. When we listen and we learn and we apply it, that there can very often could be our ignition or preparation for that ignition. It's not
Yeah.
about pushing that button and all, going. It's like, okay, the engine's going now, but where are you going? Right? Is have you
Yeah.
got the car packed, ready to to go on this journey.
Yeah. And I would even go a step further. Listen, learn, apply, and share your
Yes,
successes with others.
yes, I agree.
So
Yeah,
important. Don't leave it. And that's why I do a lot of mentoring and facilitation because oh my gosh, I have so much knowledge.
yes.
I love sharing it with others.
And that's the thing is that about experience is you could come out of school, university at 20 with a PhD, right? Right. You've got knowledge, but life experience, sharing that knowledge, using that knowledge, um, igniting that knowledge into something that really does serve. That education is only something you get by taking the journey of life.
Yes, yes. And it's being able to tell that story. I
Yeah.
think that's another thing. Like there are really good books like Lead with a Story or storytelling. As a business owner, as a leader, learn how to share stories. Like
Hmm.
you have a lot of data. Don't throw the data at people.
Yes.
Create
Yes.
and tell the story. And people will listen.
The fact that you've decided to do cultural exploration, right?
Mhm.
This is another thing, and this is kind of where we're at right now in the world. Culture. If you're not my culture, you're the enemy, and it's balderdash. We have so many beautiful, abundant, rich cultures that have been rooted and grown through, good or bad experiences, right? I'm from England. We've had our own horrors of culture, but it's what we do with that knowledge and how we enrich others is a culture in itself. And when we actually embrace different cultures, different styles, and look at it as a beautiful different frequency or a different instrument to the orchestra or a different spice in the meal, and look at it as something that is yummy to try, right? The broadening of the mind, the broadening of the heart and the soul and the experience is absolutely incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and mixing them. So I tell you, one example is when I came to the US, I had my first trainer meeting. And I walked in, like being the German, first agenda point, this is what we're gonna do. Here's a checklist. We want to be one of the best places to work in and learning culture and everything. And I got the feedback, like people were just looking at me like I spoke German to them.
Yeah.
Some people looked horrified, like I just announced they had root canals. And that was my first meeting in the US. And I was like, oh, so that was my first American aha moment.
Which fortunately paid attention to.
So I realized in Germany, the secret sauce to success is being efficient,
Mhm.
organized, getting things done. But the secret sauce to success in the US is building relationships and
Yeah.
focusing on people.
And when you
But
do that, that's when the other efficiency comes into place, right?
exactly.
Yes.
If you mix the two
Yeah.
sauces, then it
Mm.
becomes yummy
Yes.
because now you're building relationships and getting things done with and through people.
And that was always my weakness because, in my whole personality trait and, everything you look at, Sarah's the air sign, Sarah's the visionary and all of that. I've never been the structurist. My color for structure lives in next door and it's just not here. So, the fact that I managed to get a show out every week and do all this stuff is amazing. I guess it's not there. So when somebody just talks structure to me, it's like, ugh, right? But if somebody can incorporate a skill or a tool or a structure that I can happily immerse in my understanding, now I value that structure, right? And it's
Exactly.
understanding this is your strength, this is my strength. How do we bring those strengths together in a way that we all comprehend and have each other's backs and for the greater good that everything comes out of it.
yeah, and I had that when I worked in a training consulting team, and I'm the German, organized. Anybody needs a project plan, Karen. Anybody wants make sure that it's being done, Karen. Sending emails, getting people on board to things, not me.
Uh-huh.
But my colleague was really good.
Right.
She was empathetic. She could sell you anything.
Invitation.
And she's a woo, and she was just amazing. She people clicked with her. So we partnered up. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, can you do this? And I do that. And we were both happy and successful.
Yin yang, right? The balance of each other. Again, it's not about one energy signature. It's how do you bring those energies together
Yeah,
where they serve each other? That is the importance. That's what's
yeah.
understanding. There is no one person more important than the other. And, I always say the janitor is just as important as the CEO. You walk into a building and you're going to go all those flights up to see the CEO, and all the buttons are dirty, there's garbage everywhere. I mean, your opinion of the CEO has changed by the time you get out of that elevator. But if you want to know what's going on in a company, ask the janitors.
Exactly. Or the smokers.
Yeah.
I used to go to the smoking
Mm,
table because that was always the rumors and everything. The good stuff was always in
right.
that area. But yeah, and I think that's so important. And that's that diversity. I'm like also the cultural diversity. We have different backgrounds, we have different
Mhm.
experiences. And it's just like we have different traits. And
Yes.
again, we're generalizing here. Like I'm now saying I'm an Americanized German. I don't think I could go back to Germany.
Right.
I
I
wouldn't
can't go
fit
back to
in
the UK.
anymore.
No.
But it's just like going in with that curiosity and helping to understand and then really thinking about what am I good? What are you good? Let's partner.
But you said something really important. You couldn't go back to Germany and be the German that you were before. A, you've been influenced by England, and now you're influenced by America. So now you are an all sorts because your
Oh yeah,
foundation and your core may be German, but your experiences and your relationships and the way you do things have now adjusted and become more encompassing. And that is how we're meant to evolve. It isn't like, well, we do it like this in my country. Fine, okay, in your country, do it like that. But here, we've got to be more flexible and we have to be more incorporative.
exactly. Yeah, and I see that often with the leaders I coach, like the Germans leading American teams. Yeah, you need to adjust your communication and leadership style.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to end up in HR or lose your people.
Oh, a lot of Oriental cultures,
Yes.
and,
Yeah.
wrong word, wrong look can be insulting. And it's like, no, 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 this just could be somebody making a facial tick or just, the environment. Don't take it personally. We don't need to bring the samurais out. You know? So,
And I think life is such a cool journey if we
Mhm.
embrace it,
Yes.
if we learn from it. And yeah, we'll make our mistakes. I'm like, uh,
Own
I
them
still will
and
be
move on.
German.
Mhm.
Exactly. And there are certain things like when I travel with my girlfriends, I was like, oh yeah, Karen has that full-blown itinerary. This is what we're gonna do. But it doesn't mean that we will do it.
Exactly. The options are there, right?
Exactly.
Fall back on if something else doesn't present itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing with life is I think if you can conduct your business life in a way you would conduct your personal life, because I want to know if I'm meeting you in real time, out of business, I'm meeting the same person. You may be wearing a different hat. If we're talking business, is business, but I want to know the core of who that person is the same. That you weren't all schwammy for me, right? And kissing butt. And now I look at you and I go, what? I wouldn't give you the time of day outside of business.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
know that that person, you're just as happy to greet them here as you are there.
Exactly, and not being a hypocrite. I think that's
Yeah.
the thing also really important. Like, lead with your values.
Yes.
And if you know your values, they Your values are your North Stars, your
Mm-hmm.
beliefs. This is how
Mm-hmm.
you make decisions. This is how you lead people. This is how you build relationships. And if you're clear about your values, I always say, like, even when I start dating somebody, we're like, here are my values.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a new team member, here are my values. You see my values on my website.
Yes.
Because it's important for people to understand what makes me tick.
Yes.
And it's really like integrity. Like I
Mm.
just did a speech last week and we talked about values and I had 25 people in the room and I asked everybody, half of them had integrity or honesty as a value.
Yes.
But then you need to walk the talk. You need
Uh-huh.
to do it in one side of your life and not the other one.
And I think, when we talk about values and morals, is kind of like don't bring religion or politics into it. What it is it's your compass. And if your compass is, I will not do harm to anyone, for to do so is to do harm to myself. That is a morality that we need to see more of in the world and more people own it. It doesn't mean you're going to like everywhere. It's not kumbaya, right? But it does mean this is what I will tolerate. And inequality or cruelty to other people is not something I will stand for. And that's what your morality talks about. Don't bring the heavy religion into it. Don't bring this or that into it. It's like that compass of if you're out and you don't care who you hurt to get where you're going, we're not in the same
Mm,
group at all. In fact, your group
exactly.
is obsolete and going by the way of the dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, and it's important in business. Like I actually look at the values of my clients.
Hmm.
Also, if when I coach people looking for jobs, and I look at the values of the company because if they are not aligned,
Hmm.
you will not have a good partnership.
No. And, if you've got one that says, you know what, this is the way we've always done it, but we recognize we need to change and we're going to be a part of that change, then yes, right?
Mhm.
But are they really willing to make the changes? Because we've got to understand a lot of people have been doing it by the expectation, numbers by the expectation. This way you've got to do it. They wake up to realize, this is just this is not the kind of clientele I want, or the clients don't want this anymore. How do I change? But it has to be earnest in that change. And they have to be not just dictative of change for everyone else and not themselves. It has to be shown from the leadership down how to change.
Yes, yes. It needs to be a walk the talk, and
Yeah.
leaders need to lead and
Yes.
inspire.
I always say leaders inspire other leaders,
Mhm.
right? If you're a
Yes.
good leader, you are creating other leaders. It isn't all about your leadership and everybody's submissive to you. It's about you creating leaders and other people and knowing that they can go out into the world just as strong. And that's really what we want. We want no ego leaders. Proud, be self-proud of what you have accomplished. But that moment that ego steps in and you start buying that, you're going off kilter.
Yeah, and if you don't have any followers, you're not a leader.
Exactly. And some people may overtake you, which is okay. That means you've inspired them in a way that now they've overtaken you. It's not meaning that you're failing. It just means you've inspired that great leadership for other people, right? Recognize things for what they are, not what you think they are.
Yeah. Oh, you want them to be
Oh,
like, don't,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I didn't anticipate that. I didn't dictate that. No, because it wasn't for you to dictate, right?
Mhm.
That's the point.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we all have to be leaders in our own life,
Mhm.
right? We can't if we don't take our own leadership seriously, then we are going to have people pulling our strings. We are going to people victimizing us because we're leaving ourselves open for that. So if you want to be taken seriously in any business or you want to be taken seriously in life, step into your own personal leadership because it's not about coming on strong.
No,
It's about standing tall in who you are.
exactly. And then supporting others. And I do believe like everybody's a leader.
Yeah.
And like it looks differently, but it's
Mhm.
not positional power, it's
Yeah.
personal power.
And that personal power, again becomes inspirational. It becomes igniting and even intoxicating because it shows other people that they have the power within them as well. So it's not about power, it's about empowerment.
Yes. Amen.
So, how do people get the book? Is it in more than one language? And also, you have a special treat for us, something you are giving away today. Can you tell us about your free gift as well, please, love?
Absolutely. So at the moment, the book is only in English, but you can order it on Amazon. So you just go into Amazon and dare to ignite your dreams. There are different authors. So there was a group of 8 immigrants writing books, and each book has a different set of stories. So look for the one for Karin Knecht.
Can you spell that
And
for people, please, love?
sure, dare to ignite your dreams.
No, no, your
Karen.
name. Your
Oh,
name.
Karin
Yes.
Knecht. It's Karin Knecht. And yeah, if you go like my goodie, I actually have 2 goodies, but several goodies on my website. My website is dunamisc.com, DUMANISC.com. And if you go into resources, there is an energy leadership awareness log. I encourage you to really think about throughout the day, where are my energy levels? Which energy level do I portray? Am I
Mm,
a victim? Am I angry? Am I just saying, oh, it is what it is? Or
mm,
am I a collaborator? And really think about it. How did that serve me? What was the desired outcome? What do I learn? And
mm.
there's also on there is a values exercise and visionary exercise. So if you don't know what your values are, go in, it's there, available for download as well.
Excellent. And a good way to kind of hone in and get yourself, in the right vibe. And then, once you've done that, it's like, yeah, I'm ready to take that next step in my own leadership. And that's when you reach out. I'm going to say the name again. It's DUNAMISC.com. She's on LinkedIn under a name, Karin Knecht. Facebook, she's on that. And on Instagram, Coach Karin Knecht. And she's also got a YouTube channel Karin dot her surname no Dunamisk, and you can catch a few videos there as well. And remember, a book is something that keeps on giving, so maybe you might want to get it for your book club, along with the podcast club. Read the book, listen to the podcast, share some notes, expand that knowledge and that wisdom out so that everybody has the experience with it. But um, everybody's a leader, and some people may be in corporate and go, I would love to be out on my own, but in the current situation or this or that, how do I start? And you start as your why. Why do you want to do what it is? What's your purpose? What would be your values and your moral behind everything? What's your mission? And just start breaking things down to know how to become a leader, and then reach out to Karen because she's there to help you. And we need you. We need you to step into your leadership. We need you to love everything you're doing, because when you love what you're doing and whom you are serving, the ripple effect and the good vibrations just keep on giving. So please step away from what's not serving you and take that step forward. It's not that door closed or that repression that you're feeling right now is out to get you. It's an invitation for you to redirect. And don't be afraid to redirect, because they're pretty awesome. So thank you so much for being with us here today, Karen. It's been wonderful having you.
Thank you so much for the invite. I've thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. Looking forward to more.
Definitely. And to everyone out there, your life experiences, I highly recommend everybody travel and read and explore and have conversations, right? It's so important. Mix with people in other cultures, right? Just dive in, take off the blinkers, take off the restraints, get to know people from different diversities, different cultures, and go traveling. And sometimes in America, all you need to do is travel around America, and you're going to meet many diverse cultures if you don't want to get on a plane, right? So it's just just open up your eyes and to start exploring, because exploration is wonderful. So until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you to listen to right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Come and hear the illumination that's going to shed light on your path.
Find your path with the knowledge of others.